Hi again, guys. The hustle and bustle of Paris and the Retromobile is now behind me, and literally behind me is a small Flemish town, well, because I'm now in Belgium, town of Ypres, which was commonly known in the First World War as Wipers. Beautiful little place, so we're going to go and have a look and then I'll tell you the plan. Right, the town is ringed by defensive walls and water, as you can see. And it's a very important town for the Allies to defend in the First World War, which resulted in its devastation, basically. The main church in the town centre and all the square was obliterated, knee-high ruins, basically, which have been lovingly reconstructed. So let's go and look at those. But first we have to walk through the walls. Which, as you can see, are pretty thick. So this rather overwhelming building, because once again it is on an enormous scale, was originally the town hall. It's now the Flanders Field Museum in this half. I'm not sure what it is in the other half. It's a long time since I've been here. Some old bits just bolted on the side as well, which is typical of extensions the world over. And then the square is full of Flanders style buildings, as you'd expect, similar to the Netherlands. And then on the other side is the cathedral, which we're going to go have a look at, and then we're going to wander down that way towards the old centre. First World War shell. So we're actually walking through the centre of what was the town hall. There's works going on all around. And it takes you straight through to the cathedral, which is open. So we'll go and have a look. And again, all of this magnificence was reduced to rubble and has been lovingly rebuilt brick by brick, basically from the ground up again. Next to the town hall is this small memorial built into a wall side of a house, in fact, to the people of Ypres themselves who died in the First World War, the troops who came from Ypres. So these soldiers that you can see in front of you are Belgian. The uniforms are very similar to the French, but they're Belgian troops, obviously fought on this salient. And then on the right, which I can't get to unfortunately, there are some pictures of the town hall and the cathedral in their blitz state. Well, not blitz, that's more Second World War, in their damaged state. But I can't get to them. There used to be some outside the cathedral on a placard, but it's not there now. Belgium is famous for its beer, and here's a cracking little van which says water is only tasty when it's passed through the brewery. How very true. And what would you expect to find in a barber shop in the middle of town but an R100 CS, looking well worn and missing its side panels, but an unusual adornment for barbers. Non-standard fairing glass. Tucked away around the back of the cathedral, and again apologies for the irritating beeping noises, lots of construction work going on. There's a Celtic cross, and next to it the Irish flag, and the cross was erected by the people of Munster and Cork, its capital city, in memory of all the Irish soldiers who fell here in the First World War. This is the Menin Gate, which you've probably heard of, and there are two lions guarding it. I'm sorry about the traffic noise, but it's a proper road, this. There are two lions guarding it. The reconstructions of the ones that stood here during the First World War, and they were presented to the people of Australia by the Belgians because around 15,000 Australians marched past these lines out to the front and never came back. Now, the Australians were not alone. Figures vary, but at least 250,000 Allied troops died on this particular part of the front. British, Canadians, New Zealanders, Australians, and a large number from the Indian subcontinent, part of the British Empire at that time. And the walls of the gate are filled in with 54,500 names of Allied troops who they know died, but I've no idea where they are. Basically, they're lost in the fields of Flanders. And it's quite stunning. They're all listed by regiment. It's just overwhelming when you see the number of names like that. It's just beyond belief, the tragedy of the First World War. Canadians here. Even the side chapels are lined with names: Scottish Borderers, Sir Royal Sussex. And in the Bhopal infantry, Bhopal of course being a place where there was a tragedy of chemical works, I think. Wasn't that Bhopal? Yeah, I think it was. So you've got Singhs, Khans, Jamaluddin, so presumably Hindu. So Hindus, Sikhs and Muslims, thousands of miles from home, like so many of these troops. Anyway, we shall be returning to the Menin Gate tonight for something rather special. Lots of people will know what it is, but if you don't, it is a very important little thing. So we're back tonight at 8 o'clock. The gate can also be accessed from the ramparts, which is where I'm standing now. And as you can see, they're very wide, as I mentioned before. And after the Irish discovery, I found this up here as well, on the way to the cemetery, which is the four headed lines and the Wheel of Life, representing India in Flanders Fields, 1914 to 1918. Another oddity on the ramparts, an ice house. So they used to cut ice from the canal, which we saw on the way in, the moat I should say, that circles the town, in the middle of winter, and then it was buried deep in here under this mound, and no doubt goes down a long way into the ramparts, where it stayed frozen all year round. Still looks pretty impressive at night, I think. So this is the park up for Ypres. It's actually a campsite. The reception's over there. Has an automatic booking part on the right hand side. And it in the winter they leave these slots open for mud caravans, so you got electrical hookup. Not a lot else, to be honest, but Wi-Fi, which is you know, that's all you need really. €16 a night, and town is a short walk through a park in that direction, 10 minutes. So perfectly acceptable, but time to move on.